Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Jai
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शचि देसी भक्तिदान स्वामीश्वर प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय।
Jai
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय।
Jai
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om
Om
Namo
Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
Narayanam Namaskrityam
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Naram Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
ततो जयमुदीरये।
Tato
Jayamudire
Jayamudire
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
Yesu Padreshu
Nashtaprayesu
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavadevaya
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
Bhagavati Uttamastuke
भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी।
Bhakti Bhavanashti.
Hare Krishna everyone. So welcome today's Sunday's program. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, titled as Krishna is the source of all incarnations, text number 21. Can somebody post the shloka and purport? Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. ततः सप्तशे जातः देवतां पराशरात्
Parasharat
चक्रे वेदतरो शाखा दृष्ट्वा पुंसो अल्पमेधसः
दृष्ट्वा
अल्पमेधसा
ततः सप्तदशे जातः
ततः
सप्तदशे
सप्तदशे
सत्यवत्यां पराशरात्
सत्यवत्पराशरात्
चक्रे वेदतरो शाखा दष्ट्वा पुंसो अल्पमेधसः.
दृष्ट्वा पुंसो अल्पमेधसा
Would like to repeat?
तत सप्तदशे जातः
ततः
सप्तदशे जातः
सत्यवत्यां परासरात्
सत्यावतां
चक्रवेदातरो शाखा दृष्ट्वा पुंसोऽल्पमेधाशः
ततः सप्तदशे जातः सत्यवत्यं परशरत् चक्रवेदतरो शाखा पुंसो अल्पमेधसा
Word to word translation and incorporated by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
So word to word translation, Tataha, thereafter, Saptadasi in the 17th incarnation, Jataha advented, Satyavatyam in the womb of Satyavati, Parasharat by Parashara Muni, Chakre prepared, Vedataro of the desired tree of the Vedas, Chakha branches, Drishtva be seen, Pumsaha the people in general, Alpamedasa less intelligent. Translation. Thereafter, in the 17th incarnation of Godhead, Sri Vyasa appeared in the womb of Satyavati through Parashar Muni, and he divided the one Veda into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. Purport. Originally, the Veda is one, but Srila Vyasdeva divided the original Veda into four, namely Sam, Yajur, Rig, Atharva. And then again they were explained in different branches like the Puranas and the Mahabharata. Vedic language and the subject matter are very difficult for ordinary men. They are understood by the highly intelligent and self-realized Brahmanas. But the present age of Kali is full of ignorant men. Even those who are born by a Brahmana father are, in the present age, no better than the Shudras or the women. The twice born men, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, are expected to undergo a cultural purificatory process known as samskaras. But because of the bad influence of the present age, the so-called members of the Brahmanas and other higher order families are no longer highly cultured. They are called the Dvija Bandhus, or the friends and family members of the twice born. But these Dvija Bandhus are classified amongst the Shudras and the women. Srila Vyasadeva divided the Vedas into various branches and sub-branches for the sake of the less intelligent classes like the Dvija Bandhus, Shudras, and women. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Gyananjan Shalakya Chakchurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shutapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavacham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishakha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Putane Shukti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pacha Pradesha Tarine Hare Krishna. So, text number 21, translation once again. Thereafter, in the 17th incarnation of Godhead, Sri Vyasdeva appeared in the womb of Satyavati through Parashar Muni, and he divided the one Veda into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. So last week, we discussed about Lord's incarnation. Anybody remembers that? What did we discuss last week? Prabhuji gave very nice class. Vishal Gaurang Prabhu.
Parshuram.
Yes,
Lord
thank you.
Parshuram.
Yes, Lord Parshuram. So now today we are going to discuss the 17th incarnation, Saptadashe, 17th incarnation of Godhead, Srila Vyasdeva. So there is a very nice prayer actually by Srila Shukdeva Goswami in Canto 2, Chapter 4 about Srila Vyasdev. I just read it out. Namastasmai Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Papurgyanmayam Somya Yanmukhambaruha Swam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasdeva, the incarnation of Vasudeva, who compiled the Vedic scriptures. The pure devotees drink of the nectarian transcendental knowledge dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. So this is the prayer which Sukadeva Goswami is offering to Vyasdeva, his father. So Vyasdeva actually is a literary incarnation of Lord. And there are other literary incarnation. I mean, in Sanskrit, it is called Sahitya Avatar. So there are other such avatars as well, like Kapil Muni, Dhanvantari, Dattatreya, etc. So they all come into that category of literary incarnation of Lord, Sahitya Avatar. So we can see from this very important word mentioned here, Alpamedasaha, less intelligent. So what did Vyasdeva do? Actually, he compiled all the Vedic scriptures. Vedas, originally it was just one, Atharvaveda, but he actually expanded it further and created various branches, mainly into four categories. And as it is mentioned in the purport, Samveda, Yajurveda, Rigveda, and Atharvaveda. So four branches, so that people can understand it relatively easily. But still, it is not that easy, as Prabhupada has mentioned in his purport. So in the ancient time, in Vedic period, actually the method of getting knowledge from Guru Parampara was through oral reception. That is why all these scriptures are called Shruti. There was no written thing like a book form. So and there are several hundred thousands of verses very typical. It comes with a special meter. Like you cannot just read, those shlokas like that. It has got, different tune, rag, and meters. Accordingly, you'll have to recite it. And all these students, they were only hearing from their masters, their spiritual masters, only once, and they were able to memorize all these complex slokas in the Vedic era, up till even Dwapar Yuga. So we can understand that the intelligence, the medha, that is called intelligence, the brain substance. So such an advanced stage. We think that now in Kali Yuga we are very intelligent. We have made so much advancement. We have created, we have invented so many things, for communication, etc. But as compared to previous era, our intelligence is not that much. That's why the word here used here is alpamedasa. Alp means less. Alpamedasa means less intelligent. So medha is Sanskrit term for brain substance. So intelligence, medha. So in Kali Yuga we are not that intelligent, and we can see it for ourselves. If we compare the method which was there in previous ages, oral reception, just hearing once and memorizing everything, understanding everything, and now if we compare ourselves, it is very hard to even memorize a single shloka. You have to practice it so many times. You have to refer the book, and then you have to memorize it and practice it. Then only you will be able to memorize even a single shloka. As far as memory is concerned, it is very difficult even to tell exactly at this point in time. I mean, this like 8:32, 32 past 8 o'clock, what I was doing yesterday, right? We can't tell even that much. So this is the status of our intelligence. Very the buddhi or intelligence is not that strong as it used to be in previous ages. So due to this reason, as it says, drishtva punso alpmedasa. So drishtva means by seeing. So he could foresee that in coming ages, in Kali Yuga, people will not be intelligent. So they won't be able to get all this knowledge. So what to do? So that's why Lord took this incarnation of Vyasdeva, and he compiled all these Vedic scriptures, Vedas, and then 4 Vedas, and then 108 Upanishads. So these are like main Upanishads. There are even more, but 108 are chief or main Upanishads. And then he compiled first 17 Puranas, Mahabharata, which is called Itihas, and then still he was not very much satisfied. He was, still feeling incomplete even after doing all this work. So, with the inspiration of his guru, Narad Muni, actually Narad Muni then told him that because he has, Vyasdeva has compiled all this knowledge, Vedic wisdom, but he has not yet glorified Lord, in the mood of devotional service. That's why he's still not satisfied with his work. So, on the advice of Narad Muni, then Vyasdeva compiled this or wrote Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the ripened fruit of all these Vedic wisdom, and even the actually commentary on the this thing, Vedanta Sutra as well. So this is the ultimate work, the very last work in conclusion Vyasdeva has done is Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the topmost knowledge of entire Vedic scriptures. So Vyasdeva is son of Satyavati, Mother Satyavati, and Parashar Muni. He is son of Parashar Muni. That is why his another name is Parashara. Parashara, just like Arjuna is called Kaunteya because he is son of Kunti Devi. So in that way, and also Dattatreya, he is son of Atri Muni, so he is called Dattatreya, and similarly, Vyasdev's another name is Parashar, son of Parashar Muni. Vyasdev is also known as Ved Vyasa. So Vyas means expanding. That is also a meaning of Vyas. The term, this word Vyas is in Sanskrit Vyas, that means expanding. So his name is Ved Vyasa because he expanded the one single Veda into 4 branches. So that's why his name is Ved Vyasa as well. And full name he is known as Krishna Dwapayan Vyas. So Krishna, he is like blackish color, and Dwapayan, he was born on an island. So that's why his full name is Krishna Dwapayan Vyas. So let's briefly understand the various branches of Vedic scripture. So first he compiled Vedas. So what do Vedas do? Vedas actually recommend certain rituals, so that people are at least behaving at a human level. They are different from the animal society. At least they can, perform certain rituals. And even if they are having some material desire, still they can have those desires, follow certain, rituals, which is called karma kanda, and become a good person. That is the main thing which we can get from Vedas. And then next is on the next level is Upanishads. So Upanishad tell that okay, there is something more than this, rather than just following a rituals, regulatory activities, not indulging in sinful activities, but there is something beyond that, which is don't get attached to this material world and try to love God. So that is the second level. And then comes Bhagavad Gita, which is from Mahabharata. There are 100 parvas, or we can call chapters in Mahabharata. So there is one Bhishma Parva, and from there 18 chapters have been taken as Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita tells us that we should love Krishna selflessly in the devotional service. That is the next level. And then ultimately Srimad Bhagavatam, that tells us that we should have a loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and there we can glorify him. And then Machitta Madgat Prana Bodhyantas Parasparam, that thing that we can always think about Krishna, discuss with one another about Krishna. So totally absorbed in the pure devotional service of Krishna. So that we can get from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the ultimate stage in this self-realization or life of spirituality. So starting from Vedas, which is telling us how to become a good person, not to do any sinful activities like that. So that way, from Vedas to Upanishads, and then scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. But all these things were compiled by Srila Vyasadeva. So that is his special mercy for the people in the Kali Yuga, that he has compiled all these Vedic literature for us to take advantage, to take benefit from. So now there are a couple of points which Prabhupada has mentioned in his purport, which we can discuss. But before that, actually, one may say that okay, why Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. I'm interested and I will go and, learn Vedas, all the Vedas. I'll become Chaturvedi. In India, you have this family name as well called Chaturvedi. So Chaturvedi means those who have expertise in 4 Vedas. Like that, you have got 3 Vedis. 3 means 3. There is very similarity because all these languages have come from Sanskrit actually. So if you see numbers, in Sanskrit it is called 3 and in English it is 3. So that is a very good correlation, and that proves that all these languages have come from Sanskrit as well, which is the original language. So Trivedis are those who are supposed to have expertise in 3 Vedas. And like that, there are Dvivedis, means having expertise or supposed to have expertise in 2 Vedas, Dvivedi. But the thing is that these are very, very complex and several 100,000 verses. And also, as this point in time, only like 10% of the original texts are available. There have been actually in India like 1,000 years of foreign, rules, invaders. So they burnt lot of libraries, etc. So only 10% of those Vedic texts are available at the moment. This is the actually based on research and conclusion by Srila Jiva Goswami, that we do not have full set of all these Vedas even. And on top of that, it is so difficult, and whatever is available, the number is huge. Whereas there are 2 scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad Gita, just 700 shlokas, and we can get everything summarized there. Just like yesterday, we had very nice program, recitation of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, also 700 shlokas, and the chapter summary. So just like 3 hours, you can read entire Bhagavad Gita, but obviously it takes lifetime to understand that. But the thing is that we must put our sincere endeavors, efforts to understand it. And once we make our effort, then Krishna will definitely help, because he says, Tesham satat yuktanam vajitam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upyantite. So all he is seeing in us is that we should be making sincere effort continuously. Satatam, that is important. So that shows our dedication. It doesn't matter whether we are successful or not, because Krishna is not forcing that we should also be successful in our own capacity. No. In our capacity, we can only put effort, sincere effort. And result is always with Krishna. And what he's saying that, Tadami buddhi yogam tam. So then I provide them intelligence, so that they can come to me. So yes, even if we are not intelligent, but if we make sincere effort, then Krishna will give us that kind of capacity to understand things and help us to, get association of devotees, and even Guru. Guru comes also in one's life by the mercy of Krishna. And with Guru's mercy, you get Krishna. So this is, very, very much interconnected. So yeah, so in that way, the in Kali Yuga, advantage we can take from reading scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. 18,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12 cantos, and 700 shlokas in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So all these are possible because of Srila Vyasdeva. Srila Vyasdeva also, he's our like in our own parampara, God of Madhav Badi Sampradaya, which is called Sampradaya. So it is from Brahma to Narad Muni to Vyasdeva to Madhvacharya, like that. So he is our parampara guru as well. So this is the special mercy of Srila Vyasadeva, that he has provided all these scriptures for us people in Kali Yuga to refer to, study, and understand. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for us to get all these knowledge and wisdom of Vedic scriptures because of our alpmed, less intelligence or no intelligence at all. We may have done some like a lot of invention, etc., for the material comfort, but that is only at the material platform. By intelligence here, scriptures refer when there is a reference of intelligence, it is always related to solving the problems of the life, which is birth, death, old age, and disease. So solving those problems is real intelligence, not just acquiring some material comfort. Of course, in devotional service, we don't deny anything. Whatever is favorable, we must accept for the service of Krishna. So in that way, there is no. It's not like on the path of devotional service, we say no, all these inventions are useless. Um, you know, it's all rubbish. No, just like we are using this Zoom technology, right? So this is the proper utilization. We are using the technology as well. Whatever is favorable, we must be using. But the idea is not for our own sense gratification, but for the service of Krishna. So in that way, whatever intelligence we have, we should be applying for the service of Krishna, and that way we can make Krishna happy. So now what is our duty then? Now we have got Srila Vyasadeva, incarnation of Lord, giving us all these scriptures. So we just have it in libraries? No, we must be studying them very carefully, taking help with senior devotees, accepting Guru and trying to understand from him, asking questions, so that we get the full concept. And then more importantly, to follow that, to practice that, whatever is being said. It is not only study, otherwise it will be just like, as I was telling, that some Ved party, like, all these Trivedis and Chaturvedis. I'm not saying that all of them don't understand, but most of them in Kali Yuga. So just for namesake, they are like, so-called expert in the Vedas, but it is more important to follow the teachings of these scriptures. So here Prabhupada is saying that in the present age of Kali is full of ignorant men, no better than the Sudras. So ignorant men, so ignorant of what? Not understanding the purpose of life, human life. Just like acting on like animal on that platform. And there's a big difference between human form and animal form, because animals, they don't have this kind of wisdom or thinking capability, to inquire why I am put into this kind of difficulty and what is the purpose of life. They can't do it. Whereas it is expected from human to inquire about the purpose of life, as it is mentioned in the Vedic scriptures, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now I must inquire, what is the purpose of my life? It is just not related to, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, because animal can, they also do it. And if humans, they are also doing all those four basic things, then there is no difference. And in that way, we are going to misutilize or lose this opportunity of this human body, which is a great benediction or boon to us, soul, jiva. that we get this human body, whereby we can perform all these devotional service and get out of this material world, which is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. So that is why Prabhupada is saying that in the Kali Yuga, people is, they are full of ignorance, ignorant men. And ignorance is not bliss, right? And there is another thing he's saying that in the for the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas are expected to undergo a cultural purificatory process known as samskara. So there are 16 sanskaras called Shodas sanskara, starting from Garbhadhan to Antim sanskara. There are 16 sanskaras, but in Kali Yuga, all these are also mixed up, hodgepodge. So that is why it is called in Kali Yuga that everyone is born as Shudra. But yes, by training, they can be qualified as Brahma, Kshatriyas, or Vaishyas. But by birth, everyone in Kali Yuga is like Shudra. But by practice, one can develop these qualities of a Brahmana. So anybody just born in a Brahmana family but not having those qualities, what are they called? Dvijabandhus. So in India, you can see a lot of Dvijabandhus are there. They will claim themselves as Brahmana just because they are born in a Brahmana family, but it is not by birth. In India, there is a big controversy about caste system, this and that, but people there don't understand what is it exactly. Krishna says, Gunakarma Vibhavasya. So it is by the qualities and the deeds that one performs. Based on that, it is decided whether one is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. It is not by birth. There is no mention that Janma, Krishna says Gunakarma Vibhavasya. So it is by the quality one can be put into this category of Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra. And what are those qualities that we can get from Bhagavad Gita as well, where Krishna mentioned what are the qualities of Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, etc. Chamo, Damo, Tapa, Archamam, etc. These are the qualities for the Brahmanas. So unless until one has those qualities, one cannot be called Brahmana, even though they may that person may have taken birth in a Brahmana family. Such person without having any quality but born in a Brahmana family is called Dvijabandhus, just friends and family member of the twice born. So twice born is Dvija, means twice born. So one is one birth from mother, and then another is when that person has this Upnayan sanskar. That is that way it is twice born, Dvijabandhu. So all these scriptures are very, very important, and particularly in this Kali Yuga, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we must put all our effort to carefully study them, discuss them, adopt them in our day-to-day life. We do not have that much time and intelligence to go through all these huge stock of all the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas. It's too much, and that is why these two scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, even if we focus on these two and try to carefully study and learn, that will be more than sufficient. And ultimately, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it so simple in this Kali Yuga, where by just by chanting process we can get delivered. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalev Nastev, Nastev, Nastev Gatiranyatha. So that's by chanting and reading scriptures we can get our lives successful, and then apart from helping ourselves, we should help others. So that way we should be distributing these books as well, just like in this book marathon. devotees are going out and distributing Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we should be sharing anything which is good, right? We should not keep it just to ourselves. We should be giving it to others as well, so that others can also become happy. That is the mood of a devotee. Not anything, something which you are getting really valuable and good. Do not just keep it to yourself. Distribute it. Give it to others as well, so that they can also become happy and come out of this miserable life which is there in the Kali Yuga. So with that thing, we must take this book distribution also very seriously. If not much, then at least try to give 1 or 2 books to someone as a gift. The New Year is coming, the Christmas, people do, give gifts to others. So why not Bhagavad Gita? It can be Bhagavad Gita as well. So with this, I'll stop here. And now if there is any question, comment or addition, then please feel free. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Ramana Singha Prabhu, thank you for a very lovely class. Every time, you give class, there's just so much information then. Thank you so much for that. It's always enlightening for us. And while people are thinking of their questions, I will just run past basic of what you just mentioned, which is a less intelligent man, Alpha Metasaha, how the Vedas have been expanded, into 4 categories, and parampara system is very, I thought that for me was very important, because in the earlier yugas, people could, the gurus and that, they used to remember, the disciples would remember everything the guru said, right, on the spot. It never was repeated. And in this Kali Yuga, I'm having to sit here and I'm having to write notes, right, like this, right? So I can later on in the day go back and just remind myself of what you'd said earlier on. So what to speak of yesterday, Prabhu, even now, it's difficult for us to remember. And so it was so important that their brains were so intelligent, right? They were so intelligent people. They could memorize. And in Kali Yuga, as much as we think we're the really intelligent people, we're really not. We really need to work hard on it. Very nice points on Vyasadeva, wrote the topmost knowledge, and it's given us. It was the last compilation, which is nice to know. Thank you so much. Just giving you the essence of Bhagavad Gita, which is sometimes you lose it, right? And the word you said was Bhagavad Gita is love Krishna selflessly, right? And the Srimad Bhagvatam is for glorifying the Lord and having that loving relationship. And these simple things like this are so important to us, right? And we just forget it sometimes, And it's thank you for also reminding us how important it is for us to have a guru, so that we can connect to Krishna and learn the knowledge, because without guidance, we're just nothing, really. Thank you so much for that information. It's been lovely, enlightening classes ever. Has anybody got any questions they would ask? Yeah, well, I think people are probably just thinking at this stage. Lovely information there again, one question was for me, I felt like, yes, we are very less intelligent thinking, but our ego is so high, right, that we think to ourselves, I know this, I can do, and how do we break that ego? Because we think we're just so intelligent, right? How do we, it's an ego thing, how do we break it?
That very high ego is also sign of less intelligence. Those who are not very intelligent, they will be actually shallow, and that shallowness manifests in terms of this high ego. I am the most worthy person on this planet. I am the most intelligent person. So that is the sign of actually less intelligence or foolishness, so to say. So all this humility, etc., that comes, I think chanting is very important. And that will give us gradually, all these bad qualities will vanish gradually. The more we chant, and then chanting and then serving other devotees, Vaishnava, getting their blessing. So in that way, we can get rid of this ego thing. Then we'll have this Tinadapi Suni Chena, Karorapi Sahishna. So these are the things which are very, very important. Serving other Vaishnavas.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So if anybody else has got questions, please feel free to ask anything. It doesn't have to be class related. Maybe something that's in your mind that you want Prabhu to guide us through.
Okay, thank you. Gayatri
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhu. I have one query. This is Dhanlakshmi here. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
I keep hearing that these Vedas have a base on say if I take Sama Veda, it is based on glorifying Krishna with a song or with a raga and like Rig and Yajur. Atharvana is just a collection of all these Vedas. If my heredity or if my grandfathers, they have glorified in a particular way, is it okay for me to move from that way and glorify in the other ways?
Yes, there is no problem in that. If you are drifting away from that tradition, but it is important to know where you are going then. If you're drifting away from tradition and living all these things and going astray, going to the adharmic way, then it is a problem. But if you're leaving that and going somewhere else for something better, then your forefathers will also be happy. Because what Krishna says, Sarvadham parityajya mam ekam sharnam vaja. Aham tam papeshyabhyo mokshashyami ma sucha. Do not fear. Don't worry. This is what Krishna says. Ma sucha means don't worry. Do not fear. So, on the path of bhakti, because you are, if living certain rituals, it may be seen like living something, but actually you are following it now, the Yuga Dharma, which is the Dharma of this Kali Yuga, Sankirtana movement, chanting. So, one should not be fearful about that. You are not leaving anything. You are adding actually. It's for more betterment.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. That helps.
I hope that answered the question, but that was very good question.
Thank you. Sure, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I have one question.
Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you mentioned how in Kali Yuga, shloka memorization or how our buddhi has degraded. How important it is for a sadhaka to memorize shlokas in this age. Does it help in our spiritual life, or is Hare Krishna chanting more than enough?
Hare Krishna chanting is more than enough. Nobody can deny that. But if you are able to memorize, then it is good, because in that way you can also be connected with Krishna. But if somebody is not able to memorize, it's not a problem. But yes, we should put some effort, because that is, Krishna says those who read, study Bhagavad Gita carefully, actually they are worshipping me through their intelligence, buddhi. So that is also devotion to Krishna when we study carefully Bhagavad Gita. And if we study carefully, naturally we'll be able to memorize some of the slokas. But chanting is sufficient. It is something bonus added onto it, so that you can explain it to others. You can sometimes even recite those slokas and get some bliss and happiness out of it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful reply. Thank you.
Just checking if there's any other question.
Just to add that, like you would get a lot of professors in universities, particularly in philosophy department. They will have, they have a lot of shlokas memorized by heart, but whether they have understood it in totality, whether they are practicing it, this is what it is important. The intention, that is very important. Not just having becoming a great scholar from material point of view, that yes, I can recite all the slokas, but whether we have understood the essence of it, whether we are following it, that is more important. So somebody who is chanting, he is doing Satatam Kirtyanto. So he may not be memorizing all the slokas, but he is following it. Okay. So this is the thing. It is good to memorize though, but the essence is this chanting process is very, very important.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Then, let me see if there is any question in the chat box.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you for a very nectarine class. Prabhuji, my small doubt always that comes into my mind. We read the 10 offenses of the holy name today, and one of the offenses says that to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Yeah, in some way or the other, we all are like, okay, yeah, we all doesn't have complete faith. Yeah, so probably like Vishal Prabhu mentioned, we are all on just different decks. Yeah, some have more faith, some have less faith, and okay. And especially like when we talk to friends and neighbors and their family, okay, we see that, okay, yeah, among the family itself, or like among the friends or like colleagues as well, we have different faiths. So how does we correlate that, okay, this offense, namaparad, to instructing to a faithless person with this, especially when we are in book distribution and high street, okay, you try to first convince somebody or try to preach a faithless person. That's how it starts, right? So whether it be in near family or on newcomers, like how do we balance between these?
So you know why this number 9 offense is there? If you see, it is correlated with number 5. What is number 5 offense?
To consider the glories of chanting of Hare Krishna as an imagination.
An imagination, right? So if somebody who doesn't have faith, and if you try to explain that person about the glories of holy name, he is going to do that offense. Number 5. He will say, oh, this is just imagination. These guys are crazy. They're just saying, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is all craziness. And he will see that this is all imagination thing, nothing. So that person will do that offense, and by him doing or her doing that offense, we also, often do this offense against holy name. So this is the reason why number 9 is there, not to instruct a faithless person about the glories of holy name. You can involve that person in chanting, but do not instruct about the glories, because that person won't be able to appreciate it. His or her standard is not up to that level to appreciate the glories of the holy name. But everybody is entitled to chant. So if devotees are going for Sankirtana moment outside, they do chanting, and everybody is, welcome to join and chant along. There is no harm in that one. In fact, that should be encouraged, because while chanting, they are getting purified. That purificatory process will be there. But do not explain them about the glories. This is the thing. So when anybody is doing preaching to the neophytes, etc., yes, involve them in chanting, but do not explain the glories. Okay, that will come gradually. After doing chanting, that Cheto Darpan Marjanam, that purificatory process will start. Then that person will be in a state to accept the glories, to understand it. It is just like somebody who is studying in, say, year 5, right? Arithmetic, mathematics. And if you try to explain that person a differential calculus, integral calculus, those who are from the mathematics background, they would understand what I'm trying to say. The higher level of mathematical equations and calculation, that person won't be able to understand. He'll say, if you see that integral sign, he will say that, oh, this person is saying this is something else, it is s. And even he does not know how to write s, that integral sign. So it is like that. I mean, this is very crude example, but the thing is that a person who is not in that state of mind, that level, would not be able to appreciate the glories, and in that way he will offend, and probably he will never come to, once offended, once done offense against holy name, probably it is very, very difficult for that person to come back and take holy name. So that's why we should be very, very careful not to instruct about glories of the holy name, but involve. Everybody has entitlement to chant.
Thank you, Prabhu, for nice clarifying. Thank you.
Able to answer your question.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for nicely explaining this.
Thank you. I can see one hand going up. Hare Krishna.
Yesterday, I had a doubt about, more explanation about a little bit, if he has time or later, like chapter 13, 8, 12, which is about humility and all those 8 things. I think he might cover later, or
sorry, if you have any specific question, then I can ask. Otherwise, maybe that can be taken up in a, like Bhagavad Gita class. Because that is a big subject matter, right? You are all 4 or 5 slokas you're talking about, right?
Sure, I'll take separately.
The thing is that just try to understand it and try to develop that. But those things, those are Daiviya guns, right? That will not come like on its own. Now I want to become a humble person like that. No, it requires practice. And how the best way to do in this age is, what is the tapa, austerity and penance in this one is doing this chanting, or everything will come from that process, chanting process. All the Daiviya guna, these divine qualities will appear gradually if we are very sincerely doing chanting, doing Vaishnava seva, serving devotees, serving Guru. If they are happy, they can impart all the good qualities, all the divine qualities will manifest.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Shakshi Mataji's put her hand up.
Okay.
Maybe she wants to ask you something.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My question is that, this I'm very new to this particular course, basically, and the sessions, and I do not have Sanskrit knowledge. I cannot read Sanskrit as easily as you can. So, and the correct pronunciation is very important in Sanskrit, as I understand. So is there any class particularly to learn Sanskrit? And I would like, if yes, I would like to learn it. Thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. As far as I know, we are not having any Sanskrit class as such. See, Sanskrit knowing or not knowing is not important here. Even if you do not know Sanskrit, English translation is there, Bhagavad Gita as it is. So you can just follow that. That's not a, not knowing Sanskrit is not a disqualification. Where we have so many, congregational members, great devotees in Western world as well. They may not know Sanskrit. So that is not disqualification. Prabhupada, special mercy, he has translated everything in English. And then further, translations are there in various languages of the world. So not knowing Sanskrit is not a barrier. It is not a disqualification. So don't worry about that. However, if you are interested in knowing Sanskrit, etc., I think there are some classes, but I don't think here we are running any, as far as I know. But I think in India, devotees, they do run some Sanskrit courses as well. But be assured, not knowing Sanskrit is not disqualification.
Okay, Guruji. Okay. Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, just to add on that, like you mentioned, even if somebody want to read the Sanskrit slokas, in Bhagavad Gita as it is,
yes, translations are there, right?
Yeah,
yes, thank you.
the transliteration are there. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Prabhupada has, taken care of all those aspects. So you can pronunciate very accurately. And in fact, it is even easier than, reading from those Devanagari scripts because of big samas and sandhis, big words. But Prabhupada has broken them down and provided transliteration as well. You may not be knowing those Sanskrit Devanagari scripts, but you can read from those transliterations and the pronunciation will be exactly same. So yes, thank you very much, Chaitanya Prabhu, for bringing that point.
Yes, Prabhu. And there is a transliteration, and as well as in the end of Bhagavad Gita as it is, you have a pronunciation guide. So if you go to the end of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, there is a pronunciation guide. So you can learn like how you can read that English Sanskrit verses, transliteration verses. So Sakshi Mataji, you can please reach any one of us and we can help you read them effectively as if you are reading in the Sanskrit itself.
So Mataji,
Okay, thank you.
Sakshi
I
Mataji,
will get back to you. Thank you.
Sorry, Sakshi Mataji, just get in touch with one of us, and what we'll do is we can guide you, sometimes to read each verse at a time. So then you can practice like that, right?
Yes, I would very much like to. Thank you so much.
So,
Thank you, Mataji.
and
Thank
then-
you. Thank you.
Any one of us, Chaitanya Prabhu, myself, Pratap Prabhu, even Amala Mataji and Vishal Gauranga Prabhu, if you can get through to them, please, they will guide you how to pronounce each sloka, and then you can practice on your own also, right? And I think if you look on the internet, where Vishal Gauranga Prabhu's put, on the chat line, Vishal Gauranga Prabhu's put a link where you can learn Sanskrit. It's called Sanskrit College for Learning. So there's that as well. Please copy and paste it, and you can use that also. I think.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very
Just get in touch with us after this program's over, and we can help you a little bit. But I've noticed that you've been in throughout the whole program this morning from 7 o'clock. So thank you very much for joining today. We really appreciate it.
Okay, we can take just one last question. I think there is again one, somebody has raised hands. Vara Prabhu, yes. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, it's Raja Sundari. I'm sorry to, maybe because it's not to the topic of today's lecture, but actually there is a question that, well, are there any very practical methods to get rid of the critical state of mind? Because sometimes people, and it's my problem, that sometimes my first reaction to anything is a little bit critical. And how to deal with this within your heart, how to stop being critical and how to stop being probably a little bit negative about something. Thank you.
I think Bhagavad Gita is the solution for that. I don't know whether you've been part of these Essence of Bhagavad Gita courses, which was done, this week. So this is where you should start, and it requires practice as well. And then also start chanting. That will give your, composer some kind of peacefulness. You will get some inner peace as well. So these are the very stepping stone, reading scriptures and chanting as well, and try to join these kind of courses. I'm sure there will be few more in future, and attend sessions like today's. We have this program every Sunday. That way. So we need to understand actually what is our position as a jiva, right? That we are not the doer of anything. And all this problem comes when we think that I am the cause of, everything I'm doing. This is me doing thing, and that is why whatever results are there, I must enjoy it. And these two things mainly create all these problems. So once we think that we are not the doer, we are just instrument in the hands of Krishna, then all these negative things, etc., will not come. Even if we succeed, that is Krishna's success. If we so-called get failure, that is not our failure either, because what is in our capacity is just to put effort. So these are the things actually, and it requires practice, understanding of the philosophy, and then more importantly to imbibe them, to adopt in our day-to-day life. So I don't know if are you doing chanting?
Yes, Prabhu, I've been in this movement for 20 years already.
20
Yes,
years?
Yeah, and well, I think I'm still not that very good at this. And well, sometimes I do think, well, it's really difficult to explain, but sometimes it's my first reaction is, oh no, it should be done in the different way. Oh, Krishna, it's not that way, but it's critical mind, I think, and it's well, it stops me from being developing, I think, and well, there are different situations. It can be quite different. Okay, as well. Thank you, nevertheless, for your answer.
If you have been chanting, I think that will solve all the problem gradually. And probably you may think that you have some problem. Actually, you may not be. So I think more discussion with the devotees, etc., will certainly help. Okay, it is just mind sometimes that plays tricks as well.
Yeah, I think that the main problem is that I've recently had less association with the devotees than I wish to, and actually this is the main problem as I see. But well,
Yeah. So
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You have diagnosed the problem as well, and you know the solutions.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so thank you all very much for joining today's session. So I hand it back to Bharti Mataji if there are any announcement.
Thank you. Thank you, Ram Nrsimha Prabhu ki.
Srila
Yay.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you.